Welcome back to Go Ask Dallas. Hope you had a great weekend. Question 1 today is from Anthony, and Anthony says, how do you deal with drunk fans? Anthony, as long as we're standing next to the merch stand and you got one hand on the beer and one hand on your wallet, mate, we can talk all night. Question number 2 today comes from Robin, and Robin says, I've been following you since I arrived in Melbourne way back in 2003. What a time to be alive. And without wanting to sound rude, how are you guys not bigger than you are? What happened? Well, you know, not something I can answer quickly, unfortunately. Any artist success in the world, Australia or internationally, all depends on the music at the end of the day. If you've got a great song that connects with people, you're going to find that things will go pretty well for you. We had a pretty good run there for a while on Triple J and lots of touring through the 2000s. And we managed to get a big audience who are still here today asking us questions. But, you know, there's no real one factor. Australia's got very narrow pathways to success. You know, for a while there, all your hard work came down to one guy's opinion at the radio station, whether he got played or not, and it's as simple as that. So it's a very unhealthy situation for a lot of artists. But that said, we wouldn't have any audience whatsoever if it wasn't for Triple J. So the success for us, honestly, is the same as it was when we started writing a song, recording a song and releasing it. And you know, that's the thrill. That's where the thrill comes from and the success comes from for us. The fact that we've got an audience to play to still after all this amount of time is a huge win for us. Next question is from Lilo, and Lilo says, hey Dallas, I'm a big fan. You boys are always great live. What's your favourite ever live gig you went to see? Well, I hate to say it, but it was a gig we were playing support to. It was back in 2000, I'm going to say 5 or 6. We did a gig at Manly Leagues Club with the band you might have heard of called Midnight Oil, and we were feeling pretty confident at the time that we'd give these old fellas a run for their money. And then they came on stage, and we'd never been blown off stage quite like the night we were blown off stage by Midnight Oil. That was just such a phenomenal show, not just production wise but the performance wise, and the everything was just mind-blowing, and that always stuck out for me as one of the all-time great shows. I do have one more. I went to see the New York Dolls at Cherry one night, which is a little bar in Melbourne for those that don't know Cherry. It was a last-minute phone call I got from the owner saying, come down, there's a great gig tonight. And I was like 3 or 4 rows away from Earl Slick, Sylvain and David Johansen, and that was probably one of the greatest nights of my life. So there's 2. Thanks guys, that's all we've got time for today. If you want to ask us a question, just message us or email ask@dallascrane.com.au. See you soon.